Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here for the weekly reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for the week of May 8th to the 14th. If you don't know your moon or rising sign, Libra, there's a link in the description box to plug your information in there. It'll give you a snapshot of your entire chart. If you find the Libra reading isn't resonating with you, check out your moon and rising signs for the week and see if those help. That being said, I do hope that this spread does resonate with you and is healing or helpful in some way for you. Information about the cards I'm using, how to reach me, and why I do what I do is in the description box as well. I'll be using the Medicine Card Tarot, Wisdom of the Oracle Tarot, and Healing with the Angels Tarot. Doing the same spread I did last week, just with a different deck. We're looking at a 3-card spread, a central issue, 2 qualifiers in the bottom of the deck for general energy for the week. This is a general reading, Libra, so whatever is prominent in your life this week, you can apply these messages to, and I really hope that they are of some help to you, or guidance, or some relief, or advice. So that being said, let's begin with a prayer. I wish for Libra all success, joy, and wellness. I invoke spirits of love, light, and beauty. I call upon Archangels Michael, Gabriel, Metatron, and Uriel to guide this reading in peace, clarity, protection, and wisdom. I ask Mother Gaia to please bless this reading for Libra. So Libra, so far in the central position, we have the whale, and the whale's keyword is record keeper. So without looking at qualifying cards around that right now, the main gist of what's going on here is that someone is keeping tabs. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be, and by bad I just mean you could be keeping tabs, or someone's keeping tabs on you in order to prove something or get something from you. Or if you're doing it and you're keeping tabs, it's to make sure everything's equal and even. Is this necessary at the time? Is this working for you or against you? We will see a little more clearly what this means for the week for you, Libra, as soon as we get some qualifier cards out here. But absolutely, when it comes to record keeping, there's no necessary right or wrong vision around record keeping. You could be going back in your memory banks, for example, looking at a specific issue in terms of keeping tabs. If finances are really big in your week as a predominant element in your week, Libra, this could speak directly to that. But on the other hand, if it's about relationships, and this is about record keeping, I'm just waiting for some more qualifying cards here. Here we go. Okay, so we have the Raven. So we've got magic to the right of record keeping. Because there's a heavy magic card next to record keeping, we could be dealing with a lot of buried emotions here. And if this is relational, I'm going to suggest that for the good of the relationship and for your own peace of mind, that perhaps you put a bulk of, if not all, of the record keeping issues aside, at least for the week. Libra, it might not be a good week to start, I guess, saying to someone, or to start demanding from someone that they pull up their socks or fill in the blanks or do their share, so to speak. I don't think that that person or those people are looking for advice from you at the moment. Record keeping in this environment might not even be healthy or a fair way to go about things, dear Libra. Alternately, if this is an energy that you're encountering and you're not projecting it, it's being projected onto you, this is an opportunity for you to protect yourself and to not engage in record keeping or tab keeping, or you did this twice, I did it 3 times. That's literally what I'm talking about, okay? Again, so on a really deep magic level, this could be all internal, where you're just keeping tabs on yourself and perhaps being a little unfair with yourself. With regard to keeping a list, for example, you know, you're not getting through your list as fast as you wanted. You're keeping tabs on yourself. You're not fulfilling things in a timely manner. Perhaps you're being harsh on yourself or unfair to yourself. If that's the case, I suggest that you give yourself a break there as well. If this is on a mass level, sort of on a mass geographic or macro level, even a political level, this could be that you're seeing into behaviors of those in power. You're seeing through things you haven't seen before or that you hadn't looked at before. You're seeing patterns of behavior, sort of tabs, histories. Okay, history is a really important terminology here that you could manipulate, okay, for your benefit. And I don't see anything really particularly wrong with that. Unless it's directly about you and another person or another set of persons, and you're keeping tabs just for the sake of keeping tabs and being a bit militant about that, I would say that's probably unnecessary this week, Libra. So let's take a look quickly at the terminology around weasel, which is to the left of whale. I don't see this card very often, so bear with me here. We're looking at the term stealth. All right, so we have record keeping, magic, and stealth. Every time I see stealth or I see the card diversion, for example, in a central spread, we're looking at issues around control, okay? Control issues. If you're being stealthy about something, for example, if this is in your own life and it has nothing to do with other people or groups, perhaps you're working on your own record keeping. You feel lightened, heightened even because of it, ascended because of it, and this is all really personal, internal. Like it's, I'll look at these closely with you in a moment, and I'll tell you why I'm saying these things. You could find that you need to be stealthy about things at the moment in order for things to work out the way that you see them working out, okay? You need to keep some things hidden. You need to release some things. It's about maneuvering, okay? If that's the case and it's working for you, no one's getting caught up in the drag nuts of this behavior, don't worry about it. The only reason I see a little bit of caution necessary here is because of the heavy magic to the right with Raven, okay? So at the bottom of the deck, we do have the ant, and the ant's keyword is patience. So this could be more of a direct message to you right now, Libra, with regard to, having patience with yourself, patience with the situation, or if it is about another person or persons, this could be about having patience with other people. You, my dear Libra, could be advanced in some regard this week when it comes to another person or people, or even a set of ideas. You could be working with a new group of people who aren't up to par, so to speak. And you could be trying to maneuver things a certain way to get your own way. Again, I don't see anything overarchingly negative here. I think there's a nice distinction this week, Libra, between stealth, say, and manipulation. I would be cautious at all times. I mean, all signs really need to be cautious that we're not engaging in manipulation. I think Libra and Taurus, being signs belonging to Venus, for example, need to be a little bit more aware of this, because signs ruled by Venus tend to work. You're engaging with the world in a different way. And it's about pleasantness and beauty and love and all these things. But there's always, to everything, there's a shadow side. So just be aware that if you are being stealthy this week, that you're doing it for the highest good and that it's not slippery sloping into manipulation. Okay, so let's look at the whale up close here. We know that there are deep, deep waters here, a lot of emotional elements here. You could be keeping this to yourself. Especially if it's heavy magic or if you have a plan. I'm looking at the raven here. If you have a plan in mind or an outcome in mind, you could be keeping a lot to yourself for the time being. Not necessarily a terrible thing, is it? Um, you will be called upon, though, however, and if you're behaving this way or if you're projecting this way this week, to be patient with other people because you can't expect them to know what you're doing. Right? That would be like mind readers and that would be a little weird. So if this is the case for you and you're coming from a deep place, you have a vision, you're working from deep magic, your plan is to be stealthy this week in order to reach the highest good or the manifestation of this plan, I would be patient with, if it's you're being impatient with, okay, be patient with yourself. But I see groups here or other individuals that you are going to be called upon to be patient with, just so that you don't blow your own gasket, right? Not even that these other people can't handle it or some criticism, just that being patient is going to make the week easier for you. It's going to remind you to be patient with yourself. It's a really good pattern of behavior to get into anyway. So if you find your patience slipping a little bit this week, reel that in, steer that back, okay? And just breathe a little. But again, back to the whale here with the record keeping, we're looking at deep visions, deep group dynamics, wishes. The reason I say wish here is that I equate the whale card here to the traditional tarot, the tarot's star card. The star card is related to the sign of Aquarius, and it's, of course, the sign of wishes and friendships. So this could very well be about group dynamics and record keeping, development, and so forth, that it has to do with your wish. This is you bringing sort of your wish and your visions to life, right? It's a wonderful thing, but it does involve friendships and it does involve relationships with other people. In a non-romantic sense, I might add. Okay, so we're looking at Raven here to the right of Whale. Raven is the heavy magic card. This is generally just saying that you don't need to press or push or force anything this week. Things that are manifesting and coming from deep places, like the Whale, like the record keeper suggests, is stating that these need to happen in tandem, okay? This heavy magic, this sense of it's bound to happen, it's going to happen, you're making it happen. There's absolutely zero need to push anything this week, Libra. It might even be to your benefit not to push anything this week because especially if these are group dynamics, you will find people who don't belong there or don't share the same vision, etc. Slide out of the picture, okay? Or they find their way out of the situation and therefore you don't have to force or push anything. You don't even have to have those difficult conversations. You can stay focused, all right? So if you are dealing with another person or persons toward a goal or an issue around record keeping, be patient with them because they will find their own way out. You don't need to force anything with regard to this general issue this week. All right, and then we will peek at the weasel card. So just an adorable furry little critter. So again, we're not looking, unless they are qualifier cards that suggest that this is an issue of manipulation, I would just say this week, in a different spread, in a different, for a different sign, I might read this differently, but I have zero concerns about manipulation this week. This is about stealth. This is about you getting things done in your own time for your own reasons without railroading anyone. So again, nothing overwhelming or terrible or scary or anything negative here. I would just keep going the way you're going. as long as the issue and the manifestation of this goal or requirement or need for yourself is about the highest good, okay? When you're dealing with heavy magic, it's important to work with white magic, which is, of course, I'm just talking about light and dark magic here. Light magic is about the highest good, that everyone benefits, okay? So just remember to work from that place, Libra, and I think that everything will find its way in your, it will find where it belongs, okay? Where you need it to belong this week without pushing. There's no reason to push this week, which is nice. It means that you're probably on the right path. I wouldn't let anyone accuse you of doing anything sort of weaselly unless you know in your heart of hearts you are trying to trip someone up or trick someone. But if you know in your heart of hearts you're not, have patience with them in the sense of, you know what, you have the right to believe what you want. You can think what you want, but unless or until you can prove something negative about me, I'm not going to listen to that, and it doesn't deserve a response. So let it go in as much as you can. All right. And it looks like you have a heavy or a deep project, or a deeply felt or a deeply needed project on the move this week. So congratulations, that's wonderful. So without too much surprise here, we have as an additional card the building blocks. So again, with you're building something up. You're either here at the base level and building something up, or you're already up here and you're looking back in terms of record keeping about where you've come from. What you've already built upon. So this could be a nice week also to say, you know, where have you been in the past? What have you already learned? How can you apply it to this situation so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? Particularly in group dynamics or in relational dynamics, if that seems to be the overarching concern this week. And how lovely to see answered prayer as a qualifier card as well. So as an additional message here, we have answered prayer to the building blocks, the patience, the magic, the record keeping, and stealth. I think if you're patient with yourself and you keep in mind that this is for the highest good, I think another way to frame this today is to say if the ego is second this week toward this goal, toward this need for development here, or the continuation of the building block, if you can remember to be thankful, even say a prayer if that's your thing, but if you can do everything this week with a light hand, with the knowledge rather that it's all taken care of, okay? Again, here with the patience without pushing. I really don't see any need at all this week, Libra, to push anything. It's what you have intended is meant to be. It's necessary. It's going to happen. Be patient. Stay on target. Remember where you've been. Learn from it. Take from it what you can. Don't reinvent the wheel. Make your job harder. Build on what you've already had. Breathe. Say a prayer. Don't bulldoze people. Remember to work from light magic. And I think it's going to be a fairly smooth week for you, Libra. So that's really lovely to see for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading today. Let me know what you think in the comments if you have a moment. And in saying that, I'm going to end the reading here, and I look forward to seeing you next week for your next weekly reading. Take good care, Libra.